Wonders of Grace, James Hassell, Hazell. About 4 years since it pleased God to afflict him, at which time he was the subject of deep convictions. His past life of sin and wickedness was all brought before him, and he felt he was going to hell as fast as he could. But he got better, and about that time he went into the country to see his father, who was a very wicked man. And he told him in a very careless manner that a member of Mr. Spurgeon's, Mr. Bourne, had invited him to go to Exeter Hall to hear Mr. Spurgeon. And the answer his father made very much struck him. "I would go if I were you. I would take that man's advice." When he came home he went, and some remarks in the sermon struck him very much. An allusion to the Sabbath. It was like a ladder. The spaces were the weeks, and the rounds were the Sabbaths, and thus we get a Sabbath nearer heaven. After that he went to hear Mr. Carter at the Surrey Theatre, and the sermon was on the sufferings and crucifixion of Christ, the crown of thorns. He then obtained a sight of Christ as suffering for sin, and such a sight he has never lost, and has since followed Christ, and walks by faith, and would wish to join a Christian church. He sees baptism to be a command, and is anxious to obey it. Was well satisfied with him, and gave him a card. Is known to Brother Bowles and others. Signed, John Ward. Marianne Longbottom, one who can talk rather fast, and has a very good opinion of herself. I think too much so to join this church. Signed, J.W. Brown. Henry Bradford did not know the Lord till he came to the Tabernacle, which was last March. Was first brought by G. Blay. Curiosity was the first impulse, and after that he had a desire to come. He could not keep away. The first teaching he got was to undo all that he had ever done and thought before, and was made very unhappy. That made him cry to the Lord, but believes he prayed too much in his own strength, but found he must go deeper than that. He was taught there was only one way. The sermon, "This is his commandment, that ye believe," brought his soul to Christ, and as a great sinner to cast himself wholly on him for mercy and salvation. While he daily feels and mourns over imperfections which constantly mingle with all that he does, he knows they are all atoned for, and the efficacy of the Savior's sacrifice is in being the Son of God made flesh, taking on him our nature, and that he has a personal interest in his death as no one else can save him. This I believe to be an excellent case and very clear, and gave him a card. Signed, John Ward. To God be the glory.